All right. Yeah, I think we're live here finally after a good amount of time. We're good to go here. Uh, yeah, 54 minutes late, but Mom always said better late than never. Um, we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna check one thing here real quick, um, just to make sure that we're live on our actual YouTube channel. If we are, then I will send that link to our league mates so they can check it out. Yeah, looks like. Yep, so let me go ahead and close out of there and we'll send this to the general channel. All right, beautiful. So, Jason's not with us. Devosser's not with us. Right now, it is myself, your host, Ben Schmicky. Along with me is Adam Fisher, filling in for Jake Fossler. Hopefully, we'll have Jason hop in a little bit later. He is having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're on a new system called Lightstream. YouTube got rid of their quick hangout, which is what we used all of last year. So bear with us. We'll figure this out and we'll just kind of go along. Anywho, congratulations to Jason. Won the championship last year over Jude. I don't have the score; it doesn't really matter. Jason's the champ. Exactly. So Jason's the champ. I don't want to trade with him. Other people don't want to trade with him, but you know what? It's the champion, and what have we done every single season? People have traded with the champ. Nothing's been hurt yet. However, Jason has the most stacked team of all the champions so far. So that's the one thing that makes me a little bit weary is just if he's not willing to overpay to get players and people are willing to do more fair negotiations with him, I think that's really going to be hurtful to the league. But um, mhm. Yep, yep, yeah, rightfully so. And I think other guys have kind of put that into place. You did it your first year after being the champion. You went balls to the wall and you sold all your assets in order to have one huge starting lineup. And sometimes it doesn't pay out. No, and then the next year Max did the same thing. He had a weird championship run, sold all of his assets, had a terrible season. But he's back. His team's doing a lot better. And then Phil, he kind of just won a championship and then didn't really do anything because he doesn't trade much. But um, yeah, a lot of thinking, a lot of sleeping, but no action. But everybody has their own trading styles. Um, but yeah, so congrats again, Jason, on the championship. Currently, we finished our fourth year. We're starting our fifth year now of league name TBD. So at the end of this season, we'll have $1,500 in our pot going towards the back-to-back champion. So if Jason does win, basically he'll get the payouts for the normal season plus that side bonus pot, and then we'll restart at that point. So I was having a conversation with Jason last week, and he's talking about how guys like Jared and guys like Alex, who are towards the bottom of the barrel as far as teams go, they should want to trade with Jason because Jason's willing to overpay. And it's like yes and no. It's like though you're willing to overpay for a guy like Sony or for a guy like DJ, it's like you need to overpay not just in assets now, but in future picks for these guys to make it worth it for them. Because it's like whether it's like if you overpay and you help them become a little bit more viable now and viable in the future, great. That's a good trade for them. But if you're making a trade where they're becoming viable in 2 years or so, that money it could be gone. So it's like the $1,500 that could be gone. All of a sudden, we're back down to $600. So it's one of those things where when you're trading with the champ, you got to remember that there's a big pot in the circle um, that could easily restart, and instead of you winning, $2,100 in 2 years, you could be winning 600. So it's a big difference. Um, hmm 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 Yeah. Yep. 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 And yep. So I agree completely. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we're really looking for injuries on Jason's team or just a lack of production at the right time because he's going to make playoffs. There's no doubt about it. But it just comes down to, um, week 14 matchups. Who's he going to go against and what teams does he have? Because you look at, gosh, what was it? Was it year two when Max won? Yeah. So when Max won, week one, Jude had one guy that got 65, 80 points. Bell took me out of playoff contention. Yep. And had Jude not beat me that week or had Jude played someone else that week, I would have won the championship. But, you know, anybody can have that one guy. Last year, it was Derrick Henry. If somebody started Derrick Henry all 3 weeks of playoffs, guess what? You're a champion. But it's Derrick Henry, so people didn't unless they absolutely had to. Um, but and yeah, right, exactly. Tamonte, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, enough about Jason and his championship at this point. Let's go over some notable trades from the off season here. Um, so big trades for my there are a lot of them. I'm gonna just run over a couple of the few that I did for myself. Um, so a couple of the big trades that I did this season, everybody knows I purged my team and I'm starting really fresh. So I traded DJ for the one overall pick, the seventh pick, and Alex's 2021st. I then also traded Drake and Ito Smith for two 2020 firsts. I traded AJ Green for Kenny and Drake and the 2.05. Yep, I first traded AJ Green for Kenny and Drake and the 2.05, and then yeah, in March 6th, I traded Drake and Ito Smith for two 2020 first to Elijah. I don't know why he did that, but he did. Um, and then let's see here. Then with Vossler again, I traded Freeman and the 107 for the 103 Christian Kirk and $33. And then I traded Malcolm Brown, Latavius Murray for Tevin Coleman and a 2021 first. And then March 14th, Happy Pie Day, I traded Zeke Brown, the 205, and Phil's 2020 second to Monty for five 2020 first, the 102, Corey Davis, and $40. And then I basically gave Phil the 110 for Carlos Hyde and a 2020 second. So I basically gave him that for nothing. And then the first four-way trade of this league, I gave up Marquez Valdez Scantling and acquired Andrew Luck and Mike Davis. So really, I got Davis for Davis and MBS, so that sucks. Jason gave up the 109 and got Corey Davis in the 208. Max gave up the 208 in luck, basically, and acquired Marcus Valdes-Scantling and the 112. And then Alex gave up the 112 and Mike Davis for the 109. So Alex moved up 3 spots. Max traded the 208 and acquired Marcus Valdes-Scantling and the 112. So he won that trade, hands down. Other notable trades here: Adam traded Fournette to Zach for the 103, which I eventually acquired somewhere down the line. Oh, from Vossler. So we'll get to that. Jake and Jason had a big trade. Jake traded Geist, the 111, and a 2021 second for Sony in the 2.1, or the 2.10, I'm assuming. And then Drake traded Sony, McKinnon, and Tate to Jared for Kamara and the 301. Monty traded Keenan Allen and Josh Adams for the second overall pick, Landry and Giovanni Bernard. And Monty, I believe, traded Landry for Lockett recently, was it? Not a bad trade. Then March 9th, Adam traded the 103 and Cooks for Nick Chubb. Also on the 9th, Adam traded Chubb and Cooper for the 106 to the 109, Odell, Chris Carson, and James Washington from Jason. Yep. And after that, there wasn't really any major trades that I've kept track of. Yeah, I stopped keeping track after May 1st. Just too much, too, too much to try to keep track of at that point. But wow. Okay, so bringing up Vossler, he he took a brand new team from the waivers. Him and Alex did a snake draft, and Jake has turned his team into something else. I mean, Matt Ryan, Kamara, Gurley, Beckham, Allen Robinson, Evan Ingram, Austin Eckler, a kicker, who cares, and a defense, who cares. Um, his team looks a lot like mine used to. Um, he's got studs up top, but nothing on the bench. I mean, there's Latavius Murray and Malcolm Brown. So I mean, if Kamara does go down, he's got Latavius Murray to back it up. If Gurley goes down, he's got Malcolm Brown to back it up. So I mean, he's got those locked as far as backfields go. But the talent level is still going to decrease. But we've seen that CJ Anderson can step into a role and be viable. So you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. How is that? Is that better? We'll see if that works. I sent to live. I think. Did that work?
I don't know.
I've Let me pull up the YouTube page here real quick. General YouTube. All right, Adam, go ahead and talk for a second.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, Jason says it's working now.
Okay. Yeah, so I just had to add. I just needed to add your face essentially.
So we did the whole thing with basically you just talking.
Yep. So that's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, now we know for next time at least. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I was bashing Jason the whole time.
Oh, absolutely. Send that back to life. So. Good for us. I'm glad I had a one-way conversation this whole time, and
yeah, there we go.
Yep. Makes me look like an idiot. Who cares? Anyways, let's okay. So congrats, Jason. A lot of different trades. Let's go into week 1 matchups here. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone, just because I like how Sleeper looks on my phone more than I do on the web browser.
Have you been on the web browser lately?
I have. It's a lot better.
Yeah, it's still not as good, but yeah.
Yeah, you can't look at individual teams on the web browser unless you're trading. Whereas on your phone, you can actually pull up teams.
No, you can.
Can you?
You just click on league and it brings up all the matchups, and then you just scroll underneath all the matchups, and it has all the teams.
Well, yeah, but you can't look at like their draft picks though.
Yeah, I see them. You just scroll all the way down. Yeah, I just clicked on Phil's, and it shows all of his draft picks.
On the website?
Yep. Just go to league.
Yeah.
Scroll all the way down underneath, and then it shows the 2 divisions. So click on Jude, the first one. Scroll all the way down, and it shows all of his draft picks.
Oh, okay, I see. That's more difficult than the thing, but that makes sense though.
Yeah, learning as we go, I guess.
Yep, we're learning. Well, while I'm scrolling through here, so Jude has $9 for waiver, for the waiver wire. So he's on one end of the spectrum, and Adam and I are on the other end. He's got 190. I've got 207, or you have 190, I guess, if I should be talking to you as a person, not just as a figment. But other than that, the next closest to Jude is Zach with 91, and then Monty with 94, and then Vassar with 96. Gosh, so I mean, honestly, like, it's not collusion, but I can tell people, don't send Jude Fab. Don't do it. Let him spend his $9, and then he's screwed. But people, oh gosh, people. I mean, Jason would have won the championship so much more easily last year.
Yeah.
Had he not had Williams and those 4 guys that he got like $4 for selling first 4 and stuff. Oh hey, looks like Jason joined.
Whoa.
Hey, Jason's here. Hi, Jason.
I think you need to add. There we go. Now he's on there.
There we go.
All right. Yeah.
Finally.
So here's what we've covered so far, Jason. Congrats to you for being the champion. No one wants to trade with you, but we're going to. And then the second thing we covered was just a bunch of different trades that took place, and now we're covering Jude not having any fab money besides $9, and how people like yourself really just shouldn't give him money at the end of the year, even if it does benefit you to win a championship. Just don't do it. I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop you. I'm obviously not going to veto.
Well, if you look at Jude's team right now, if you were to somehow get all the way down to 0, he doesn't have a backup quarterback or a tight end or a kicker or defense, so he can't pick anyone up if you were to get down to 0.
Yep.
But then you just have to bank on Jason giving him money again.
Yeah. Well, Jason will give him all the money he needs as long as it gets him a second championship. So
that's true.
All right, so let's look at matchups here.
Jason can't hear you, Ben.
You can't hear me?
Jason can't.
Oh,
He can hear me, but he can't hear you.
is Jason talking?
Say something, Jason.
You guys hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah, I can
Check,
I
check.
can hear him fine.
Yep, so can I. So he can't hear you talk.
Huh.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world.
How about now?
Nope, he obviously can't.
Oh. Well, let's see what YouTube has.
Oh, we should just basically tell people to skip to like 25 minutes into the episode because we're at 20:47 right now and haven't covered much. I mean, Ben had a conversation by himself first 15 minutes.
All right, Jason, talk.
So strange.
I can hear Jason just talk there and I could hear him. I can hear you, Ben.
On YouTube, it's picking up everybody. So everybody's showing up. So it's weird that Jason can't hear me,
So for some reason, Jason can't hear you.
which
Okay.
is weird. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll just have to relay any information, or Jason's just gonna have to pull up YouTube and try to listen to me talk it that way. But we'll figure it out later, I guess.
Yeah. Jason, Ben said you could maybe pull up the live stream on YouTube and listen to us, and then chime in every time you want to chime in.
Probably about 10 to 15 seconds late. Yeah, sounds good.
Whatever.
That's fine. So anyways, so the matchup, I don't know if everybody's sleeper looks the same. My matchup with Jared is on top. I'm assuming your own matchup's on top for everybody.
Whoa, you cut out hardcore now, Ben. Now I see you. What now?
I'm assuming that everybody's matchups has their own team on top.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to go based off of mine. Being the host, I have that luxury. So first matchup we have currently is me and Jared. Apparently the league has a consensus saying that I'm going to lose this week. I mean, Jared doesn't have a kicker, and he just traded his running back 1 for Justin Jackson and Melvin Gordon. So
who isn't going to play?
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, he's got Corey Davis still on his bench, and he's starting Cortland Sutton. So,
which who knows? It's probably just a toss-up, anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, I should win. I'd be surprised if I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess I have you winning. You have 2 rookie running backs, a wide receiver, and Kirk, who really hasn't done anything, and who knows what Coleman is going to do. Mm-hmm. But if you just look at Jared's starting lineup, I mean, Justin Jackson, I mean, no one really knows what's going to happen with that backfield right now. I mean, Eckler's probably he's going to get most of the work, but who knows? We'll see. Frank Gore, that Buffalo backfield, I don't even know if I want anything to do with any of them. Mm-hmm. I know you'll probably trade for Gore at some point this year.
Who?
You will.
Who? Oh, a trade for Gore?
Yeah, you will probably trade for Gore this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, he doesn't have a kicker. And then who knows if anyone on the Colts can survive without luck. So that's my take on your matchup, Jason.
Yeah, I can't hear Jason anymore.
I can't hear you, Jason.
It's got to be.
Now we're good. There we go.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. I think that now that Jared is sitting without basically any running backs whatsoever, he's going to be plugging in Justin Jackson and probably Tony Pollard. It's going to be rough for him to get anything at that position, and I think it's going to be tough for him to put up anything. I think Ben's got a lot of high upside with all those rookies he's going to be throwing out there. Michael Thomas is going to have a high floor. He's got Drew Brees. I think it's going to be tough for Jared to put up the points he'll need to put up to beat Ben.
Yep.
Just want to say congrats, Jason, on having the first guaranteed pick of a top 4 for next year, as long as you don't trade it.
Yeah, he didn't hear. Did you hear that?
I'm listening about 15 seconds delayed. So I'll respond in a second. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So anytime Jason is spoke to, we'll just give it a few seconds. All right. You want to go on to the next one, Ben?
I'm seeing if he wants to respond at all.
Oh, I think I missed that.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Next matchup I got here is Jude and Max. Matchups, it's a pretty good matchup here as far as the two goes. I mean, you've got the MVP of last season, Mahomes, versus the high-flying rookie, Kyler Murray. I think that's going to be a pretty fun matchup. Jacksonville hasn't been as good as they've used to been. However, they're the only team that shut Mahomes out last year. But Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch this season. If you've listened to anything that the coaches have said, they basically said, hey, don't pay attention to us in preseason because we're not going to show you a thing. They were one of the most boring teams to watch, but I think they're going to be a lot of fun running 4 wide receiver sets. And having David Johnson coming out of that backfield, I think is going to be a lot different than you've seen last year. I mean, David Johnson on a terrible season ended as a running back 10 last year. I think you're going to see him finish somewhere in the 5 or 6 mark this season. So I think anything above that would be kind of a stretch. But I think he's a surefire RB1 this season, somewhere in that range.
Who was that you were just talking about? You cut out for a second there.
Oh, I was just saying David Johnson's going to be a running back, running back 1 this season.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. And that's actually Duke Johnson that's on Max's team, not David.
Oh, I know. I was talking about Kyler Murray and the
okay.
Cardinals offense just as an entirety.
Okay, like I said, you cut out for a minute there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I think Jude wins this week pretty much hands down. I mean, Mahomes over Murray, McCaffrey, and Barkley is close.
Yeah.
I would give it to McCaffrey just based off of the defenses that they're playing. I think Dallas has a much better defense, and they're going to be really keying in on Barkley. Whereas with McCaffrey, the Rams lost Darnold. So, I mean, that's going to create a little bit of a hole on the defensive line. Bell, his talent alone is better than Aaron Jones. Tyreek Hill, much better than Thielen. I will give Robert Woods over Gordon just because we don't know what's going to take place with Gordon. Kelsey over Njoku every day. I don't know about Damian Williams, though. I was never a big fan of his to begin with, and especially with the bringing in of Shady McCoy. I think his upside is definitely going to be a little bit more capped. So I think Duke Johnson is going to be the better one there. And then who cares about kickers and defenses? So
yeah, who cares? Yeah, I guess I have Jude winning this one. I think there's just too many question marks on Max's side. Aaron Jones, I know he loves Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones is a good running back, but their quarterback or their coach has said all year that they want to do a committee backfield. So we'll
Yep.
see how that plays out. If it doesn't play out as a committee, Aaron Jones should be a stud. If it plays out as a committee, who knows? I don't trust Robert Woods. He had a good year last year, but I don't know, something about him I just don't like, and I don't know. I'll give him Duke Johnson over Damian Williams, though. That's for sure. Not a Damian Williams guy. So, Jason.
Yeah, I also think Jude's got this one, but I think that with everything we talked about last year, with it, being, it all rides on Mahomes and the Chiefs if he has a bad week, that he's got no shot to win. If, Mahomes goes out and throws one touchdown, that he's probably sunk. They're playing Jacksonville this week, and I know they had a down defense last year, but a lot of the players that they had from their studly defense 2 years ago still around. I think there's a chance that that defense takes a step back towards where they were before. If that's the case, I think there's a chance that Mahomes gets somewhat shut down in that first week that he's playing here. And so I think there's a chance, not likely, but I think there's a chance that the Chiefs don't fully show up and that there's a real matchup here. It's not going to be a complete blowout. So
would you say it's a 69 to 31% chance like Sleeper has, or would you say it's more of a 60-40?
I think that I think it's probably I think it's a little bit closer. I would say it's probably 55-45.
I would agree with that with Jason there. I mean, I know the projections have Jude winning, but yeah, I've stated multiple times that I'm not a fan that Jude has all these Chiefs, and he proved us all wrong last year. But there's only and you can only ride that so long. So we'll see. Jacksonville's still a good team, good defense. Good defense.
I want to interject one last time, and then we'll go to the next team. So I mean, Jude's team last year. I mean, it was Mahomes, McCaffrey. To finish out the season, Mahomes, McCaffrey, Williams, Hill, Watkins, Kelsey, and then some crap flex, and then it was Butker, and then whatever defense. I mean, now having Bell in the mix as his RB2 rather than Damian Williams, and then Josh Gordon at his wide receiver 2 rather than some crappy RB or wide receiver 2 or Watkins. That gives him so much more upside. So he's no longer, that totally reliant on the Chiefs offense like he used to be. The Chiefs can have a downside, and that's only going to affect 3 major players at this point, because Mahomes is going to throw the ball to either Hill or Kelsey. So one of those 2 guys has got to go off at least every week. So Mahomes could have a bad day, but Hill or Kelsey is still going to get theirs. Damian Williams might have a bad day, but again, Hill or Kelsey. So one of those 3 positional players will still do something while the other 3 might get hurt. But he's got a lot more flexibility now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Le'Veon does behind a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jason, we have Jason and Phil. So 2 champions get to face off each other. That's kind of fun. Projections have Jason winning 72% to 28%. Looking at it, there's so much Winston hype. I don't get it. I'm not a fan. But some fantasy pros are absolutely in love with Winston and everything that he has going for him this year. I think that
he's going to throw the ball a ton.
Yeah, I think
not having running back.
Exactly. Not having a running back system will definitely help Winston. But you would think that teams are going to play for the pass and let the run happen. since there is such a terrible RBBC going on there. But yeah, I think Jason wins this one pretty handedly. I mean, he's got a 13-point buffer as far as sleeper says, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any way Phil comes back. Trey Burton is such a questionable tight end. He doesn't have a backup tight end at this point, aside from Noah Fant. Yeah, and there's no way I would start Noah Fant as a rookie.
Well, Trey Burton is literally questionable for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. He's more not going to play than he is, and with a guy playing on Thursday rather than like a Sunday, there's no way you start Trey Burton. You got to drop somebody and get somebody else in there. But even at that point, I mean, he's going up against George Kittle, and there's Kittle's gonna beat 31 other tight ends on a weekly basis. Anyone not named Kelsey, basically. So yeah, Jason wins this one. I think 72-28 is pretty fair.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Phil's got a pretty decent team. His pass catchers are pretty good. Hilton, we'll see how he pans out with Jacoby Brisket just throwing him the ball. Whatever they call him. Trey Burton, yeah, he's literally questionable for tomorrow. And then Marlon Mack, yeah, same thing. I mean, they could just stack that box, and we'll see how much Freeman actually cuts into Phillip Lindsay's workload. So I know they're hyping Freeman up like they want to give him some more carries, but we'll see. And yeah.
I think I feel a lot better about this matchup now that Luck has retired. I think that it just throws Mack and Hilton, that whole offense, into question. I know he's been working with that first team all preseason, but even so, he's not Andrew Luck. He has never shown he's had that chemistry with Hilton, and so I think it's just all a crapshoot. And so I wouldn't be counting on anything big from those two guys. And then with that, I mean, he's going to need a huge Monday night from Hopkins and Watson, I think, to pull through. So I got some tough matchups, though. I mean, Pittsburgh had a good run defense last year. It's going to be tough for Sony to get yards. I'm hoping for some touchdowns there. And then Tennessee had a great defense last year, too. So Chubb's got a tough start. Got Julio's facing Xavier. You got Devontae is playing against the Bears tomorrow night. So it's not a cakewalk and not a sure thing that I'm going to score a ton of points, but I think I'll be able to squeak it out.
Yeah, you got a good matchup at tight end in your flex, though. So
that's true.
And you've got the number one kicker, so there's that.
Wide receiver 2 right there.
Exactly.
Which still blows my mind that you guys made that stupid trade.
I mean,
hey,
when
you
you're
get
willing
mad
to...
at Zach. He offered that to me. That's not even some stupid offer I came up with, and he said yes. He sent that over on his own.
When you're giving up a 2020 first for the number one kicker and a 2021 first, I mean, it's like, I'll move back a year for the best kicker. Why not? Because it's a positional advantage. Why wouldn't you take it, I guess?
That's true.
I mean, with a starting lineup like Jason's, you can afford to do it.
Yep.
All right.
I guess I did spend like a total of $40 on kickers last year, so I can't say much.
All right, next matchup here. This one will be pretty quick. We have Alex and Zach. I mean, Goff is now the highest paid quarterback going up against the highest fumbling quarterback in Lamar Jackson. David Johnson against Dalvin Cook. I think David Johnson is underestimated here. Excuse me.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, it's Detroit. Yeah, it's Matt Patricia, but it's David Johnson. It's the Cardinals. If they're going to run anywhere near the 75 plays that they want to run each game, I mean, David Johnson is going to get at least 55 of those plays.
Yeah.
Granted, how many touches does he get? How many targets does he get? That's a different question. But I think 14.6 points is a mockery, especially if he gets a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, though, I think 16 is pretty much on point with that. Being at home against Atlanta should be a pretty good matchup. Kerryon Johnson over Royce Freeman. Keenan Allen over Alshon Jeffrey. Stephon Diggs over Marvin Jones. Hunter Henry, I'll give that one to Alex over Mark Andrews. And then Fournette over Westbrook. And then who cares about the kickers and defenses? But yeah, Zach's going to win this one. Might be more something like 70-30, give Alex 4%, but it should be a done deal.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm surprised that Kirk Cousins isn't starting in Zach's lineup. I'm assuming Zach's just playing the projections on that. I don't know. I mean, I guess Baltimore is playing Miami. That's a pretty good matchup there. But yeah, I think I'm taking Zach all day here. I mean, Alex is starting Royce Freeman, so
I mean, Lamar Miller, he's
Dede
done.
Westbrook.
Yeah, Lamar Miller's hurt, so that's not going anywhere.
I think this is. I'm pretty sure. I can't believe that he's not going to start Kirk Cousins week 1 of the NFL season. I don't buy it. I think it's. He's trying to play mind games. I don't think Lamar Jackson is seeing that starting lineup. I do think it's interesting though with Diggs coming out with that hammy issue. If he has to sit Stephon Diggs, he doesn't have a ton of wide receiver depth sitting back there on his team. He's got Quincy Enunwa. I don't feel good about that at my wide receiver too. Will Fuller, but man, that guy has been hurt so often that it doesn't take much. And behind that, look at Josh Doxson, Antonio Callaway. Like there's not a ton there depth-wise at wide receiver. So if Diggs is hurt to start the season and he doesn't play for a week or two, or he's got a nagging injury, Zach could be looking at some troubles long term for his team.
Oh, Doxson will be there if Diggs is out. So
it can't be any worse than Treadwell.
That's true. That's true.
And both of their guys are starting IR taxi squad, which is a good place for them. So
yeah.
All right, so we'll give that one to Zach. 2 more matchups here, Adam and Elijah. I mean, this one's probably going to be a real fast conversation. Adam wins. Need we say more? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Russell Wilson over Mitch Trubisky. Thursday night games, even though it's the first Thursday night game of the year, first Thursday night games are always slower paced than all the others, it seems like. And then, yeah, James Conner over Drake, easy. Carson over White, easy. Schuster over Mike Williams, easy. I mean, your wide receiver 1 and his wide receiver 1, like Mike Williams is a wide receiver 2, in my opinion. Could he be a wide receiver 1 if he puts up like numbers next year, but more amplified? Absolutely. But yeah, it's disgusting how much better your top wide receiver is in comparison to his. David Moore over Tyler Boyd. The Bengals, the offense is going to be so bad without Green. They're missing too many offensive linemen. I don't know if anybody saw my hot take this evening, but Mixon is not going to be a running back 1 this year. He is going to fall outside of there.
Saw that.
Ertz over McDonald. However, I think Ertz is also. Here's a hot take. Let me know what you guys think about this. Austin Hooper is going to outscore Zach Ertz.
That's just dumb.
We'll see. I think Dallas Goedert cuts into Ertz's receptions, and not just Dallas Goedert, but I think Carson Wentz spreads the ball around way too much for Ertz to get that force feed that he had last year.
Yeah, Ertz is definitely, his targets are definitely going down after last year. There's no way that is sustainable. But to think that he's gonna get outscored by Austin Hooper, I think is a little bit of a too much of a hot take, I would say. But I think I'm going to beat Elijah. I think my team's better than his. I think he knows that. Zach made a good point that we're all pretty sure Elijah was very confident in his team until Ari's power rankings came out. And Elijah has no confidence in that team anymore. So
That was the best power rankings
Oh.
ever.
they were great. They were awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick myself, but I don't think that it was a very hard choice.
No.
Yeah, I think looking at Elijah's team, his team is basically a team full of twos. Like I don't think he doesn't have a one anywhere across his lineup, and it's going to be tough to win any matchups. You might have some nice floors of guys that are putting up wide receiver and running back 2 numbers, but he's got no one elite that's going to be putting up that 20 to 25, a week consistency. And it's going to be tough, especially with some of these higher end teams in this league. Like you might be able to compete with Jared or Alex for a week when you're playing them, but playing against some of the big boys in our league, you're going to have a tough time keeping up. And I think he's going to see that this week.
Agreed.
Quick question, Adam. Is McLaurin your only rookie that you have on your roster?
Well, yeah, I only had one pick.
Oh, okay.
I don't ever have
Well,
picks.
No, that's fine. Of all the like one picks you've had, from all of the podcasts I've listened to, apparently McLaurin has been named Washington's #1 wide receiver. So
Yep, they're starting X receiver.
Yep. So you're not gonna have a taxi squad position in a couple weeks. I mean,
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
if he's outperforming your flex guy, I don't see why you don't take it out. I mean, maybe if you start losing weeks and you absolutely need him, otherwise, keep that extra position. But
right. Well, we'll see. I mean, that offense isn't going to be very good.
Yeah.
Keenum loves to dump it off. That's what he loves to do. So we'll see. I mean,
yeah. So Jason,
he might be their starter, but he's on a bad team. So
yeah, he's looking at wide receiver 2 at best, probably. But yeah, Jason, so you missed this earlier. Adam and I were talking about the 2 2021st that I got from Elijah, mine and his own, for Ito Smith and Kenyon Drake. So there's that.
that's a literal face palm. Like,
oh yeah,
I can understand 1 first for Drake because I mean he probably had to do that, but basically he just paid a first for Ito Smith, who the way it sounds is they're just gonna
he's not even the backup.
Yeah, they're just gonna feed Devontae Freeman.
Yeah.
And Ito Smith might not even hardly see the field. So
yep,
that's definitely gonna bite him in the ass. So.
All right. Moving on to our last matchup here, Vossler and Monty. Now this, honestly, of all the matchups, this is the most exciting of the week. This is my matchup of the week. Monty and Vossler. So Monty gets Zeke. Zeke has signed. Now he's not the highest paid running back on average, but his last 6 years are going to be heavy. Because he's going to finish out his rookie contract, and then it's going to be like 5 years of like just a deload of money. Is that how it's working?
I haven't looked into it, so I'm not 100% sure what Zeke's contract is. I just know that he's basically tied to the Cowboys for 8 years. So
Jason went to school for sports law. Does he know anything?
I mean, I think he's averaging 15 mil a year. So whatever that, I don't know what Gurley's making, but it's right up there.
Okay. But yeah, so we have Baker versus Matt Ryan. The one big thing that all my podcasts have been talking about Matt Ryan is 13 to 16 weeks. 13 to 16 weeks, he's going to be playing indoors. Matt Ryan thrives indoors. This year, if you look at Matt Ryan historically, he's 13, he's 3, he's 12, he's 1. As far as like rankings go, as far as quarterbacks. 13 to 16 weeks indoors for Matt Ryan, I think you're looking at a top 6 quarterback. I think he could produce with that, especially with a guy like Freeman having 13 games indoors. I think that's just a recipe for success for the Atlanta team. Baker Mayfield had a good year last year. There's so much hype building around with Odell and Chubb and everything that's flexed around him. But I would love to see the Browns crumble. I think that would just be hilarious. Kamara and Elliott, it's a wash. They're one and the same. Gurley and Mixon. Give me Gurley over Mixon any day, even with the knee. Odell over Brown at this point, just because Brown is crazy. I don't know how to explain him. Edelman over Robinson, I'll give that to Monty. And then what do we have here? Ingram and Howard. I'm going to go with Ingram just because I'm not on the Howard hype. And then give me Lockett over Eckler, even though Eckler's projected more points. I think Lockett, he's the only wide receiver on that team. I mean, David Moore, he's hurt. DK Metcalf had a knee scope, not a major issue, but, it's still some sort of surgery that went on. And, I know Carson's supposed to be getting 50 receptions over the years, what they're talking about. But, I mean, that's what, 4 receptions a game at most. So, I mean, Lockett should be poised for huge upside. And then, again, kickers' defenses. I think this is more of a coin flip than Sleeper puts on. It's 64-36, but I think Monty has a fighting chance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like you said, this is definitely the most interesting matchup of the week. It also might have the most question marks of the week. I mean, Baker Mayfield had a very good rookie year. We'll see if he can replicate that. You get into that running back 2 there, and there's both question marks because, yeah, like you said earlier, that Cincinnati team is going to be bad. So we'll see what Mixon can do behind their offensive line is not good. And then Gurley with the knee. We'll see with their 2 receivers, Beckham on a new team and crazy Antonio Brown. He's literally a crazy person. So we'll see if he even wants to try. He's not going to give you much effort in practices or anything, but I'm going to assume he's going to go out there and play every week and put up numbers. Allen Robinson sucks. I'm just going to say that now. So I'll give that one to Monty. The tight end matchup. What?
Who has a better year, Allen Robinson or Anthony Miller?
Anthony Miller.
I agree.
Jason?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling Jake on this one. I think Mixon playing against that Seattle defense, they've really upgraded. We saw what Chicago did when they added in Khalil Mack on like a couple days' notice. The guy came out, was a beast in his first game. They had Jadeveon Clowney to that defensive line. I think with what that Cincy offensive line has looked like, I don't see Mixon having a good game here. Until I see Antonio Brown play without Ben Roethlisberger, I'm not going to trust that he can be a good wide receiver. He hasn't played well when Big Ben has been out. He's had really pedestrian numbers. So I got to see that he can do it with someone else before we can call him even a low end wide receiver 1. So I I think that Jake's got the higher that higher potential with Kamara, with Matt Ryan, even with Gurley. I think he's still going to be the goal line guy, and they're going to be an offense that moves the ball. So, and we'll get to see what Beckham does there. I think Jake's got this one. I don't see Monty having a big enough week to compete.
Yeah, I don't see Monty pulling this one out. His flex, he's got Lockett in there. I don't like Lockett, and I'm surprised he doesn't have Godwin in there.
Yeah.
Because he's hyping Godwin up. We almost had a bet earlier this year that, or actually this week or something like that, that Godwin's going to have 100 catches.
Whoa.
Yep.
I think that's fair.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, well, look at it this way. Evans, Godwin, and whoever the tight end is. I don't care.
Howard.
Right?
Howard, who
Howard.
OJ Howard, who would have been probably a top 5 running back if he wouldn't have been hurt.
Tight end.
He was, what did I say, running back?
Yeah. You're
Tight
drunk.
end. Well, there's a little bit in this drink here. But I think he was on pace for a top 10 or top 5 tight end before he got hurt. I mean, he's a physical freak.
Yeah. But I mean, if let's assume that he throws the ball 500 times, which is a logical number for how bad the running back system is. Is it that surprising to think that Godwin isn't going to get 140 targets out of 500?
No, but you got Bruce Arians there. Look at what DJ did with Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
So even though he doesn't have a DJ, he's got Rojo and Peyton Barber. He's gonna use them.
And he's got Dario Obingo, blah blah blah.
However you say that name, yeah. He's gonna use his running backs in the passing game. So I don't know. He's gonna get targets. I just don't. I don't see 100 catches, and I just don't see the hype on him.
Well,
But-
I mean, Ben, you look at the number of wide receivers that had 140 targets last year, that list is short. Like, there are not that many guys who are getting that many looks. Like, it's easy to break it out on paper, but in reality, like, guys getting 140 targets, that's like the number one guy in an offense and like elite of elite guys. I think Godwin's going to be lucky to get 110, 120, and he's going to have to catch, what, about 70% of those balls to get to 100. That's going to be tough. I think he'll probably get 80, 85, maybe 90. I think any more than that's going to be difficult, though.
I may like Godwin just because you own Evans. Nothing. Okay, but see, here's the thing with Monty's flex. I mean, okay, so starting wide receivers, of course you're going to start Brown because he's Antonio Brown. He used to be the best wide receiver in the league. We'll see what happens now. Looks like Jason left. That's fine. Edelman, I mean, he's Julian Edelman. He's a wide receiver too. He's going to be great. Great choice there for his wide receiver too. Now his flex. Here's the issue with Monty's team is that Lockett, Godwin, and Cooper Kupp, to me, they're one and the same.
Well, you throw Derrick Henry in there, and there's a viable option. But yeah, I understand you're talking wide receiver. But
You can even throw in Derrick Henry because that even goes to my point. Then is that it's a guessing game. He does not have a flex that he's like, that's my guy. I can rely on this guy every day.
He has very good depth, but that can be detrimental sometimes. I've had teams where I have very good depth and it just messes with your mind. Just trying to figure out who to start, and it can really mess with your head. So we'll see. He might have too many options for himself. So.
Yep, I agree. I've been trying to get Jason added back to the chat here, but I don't know what's going on, so it's going to be tough to do. But yeah, so I mean, I think overall I'm going to give this one to Jake. I think it's going to be close to a coin flip, but I'd still say if anything, it's going to be 51-49 at best. And Jake pulls this one out. So
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Jake too.
Yep. So to recap, I think we all agree it's going to be me winning. It's going to be Jude winning, Jason winning, Zach winning, Adam winning, and Jake winning this week. So we'll see how we go. I don't know if we've ever had a perfect week as far as our guesses go, but we'll see. There's always a chance for week one.
It's basically we're picking all the favorites.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. Because I mean, most of the time the favorites are going to win, but every once in a while a blind squirrel finds his nut. So, yes, Adam. Since everyone has fixed their rosters, you can go ahead and cut Taxi down. I will agree to that. Okay, I just voted on that now. Anyways, so that's it for week one. Thanks for tuning in. Even though we've had no views, no comments, we've been on this for an hour and a minute, 2 hours longer than we wanted to, but we had to switch platforms due to YouTube being stupid and getting rid of their quick Google Hangouts. So here we are. Yeah. Thanks, Adam, for filling in for Jake. We appreciate it. Jason, thanks for hopping in when you could, even though you couldn't hear me. We enjoyed that Adam was a good moderator as far as being in the middle of everything goes. So I am going to go take my shower now that I'm done working my third job and down at the farm. So
by the way, Monty just said Godwin's going to get 140. I don't know if that means. Yeah, he's watching it. It's bottom. Said 140. I don't know if that is. I'm assuming that's here. So.
Yeah. See, I said 140. So.
Yeah.
I got you, Mo. So. Well, good.
Yeah.
Glad we had one viewer, one comment. So
there we go.
All right, sir. Well, you take care. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching and enjoy your football.